MMA Now, powered by Show On TV Network.
I'm David Kano with MMA Now TV, and it's going to go down in less than a couple of hours. UFC 200 prediction time. This is not a fun time for many people because someone has to win and someone has to lose. Very few draws. And from top to bottom, most of these 99% of these fighters are recognizable, if not stars within their own right. The undercard alone could be a main card in a pay-per-view or a Fox event. So let's start. Um, let's just start from the bottom. These are what Vegas has the lines at, and I'll kind of go through and get my thoughts on the fights. Jim Miller versus Takanori Gomi. Jim Miller is the favorite against Gomi, and I think both guys have been through wars and both been in big fights. I think Miller pulls this one out. I think this goes to a decision, but Miller gets to win. Diego Sanchez and Joe Lozon, it's even. Vegas oddmakers have it even as I would have it. Diego came out fired up for the weigh-ins, was screaming at Joe Lozon, and Joe kind of knew that this was going to happen, and Joe said, "How can you not laugh at that?" But he said, "I'm going to punch Diego in the mouth." What's going to happen between this fight? Who's going to impose whose will? This is a really hard fight to pick. It's a pick-em fight. I'm going to go with Diego Sanchez in a 3-round bloody war decision where both guys get cut up. Also, Sage Northcutt against Enrique Marin. Sage Northcutt is the favorite, almost a 3-1 favorite against Enrique Marin. I think Sage is being built up to be. He's still young. He's 20 years old, so I think he's going to get this one. His last fight, he was fighting quickly, was sick as well. So I'm going to go with Sage Northcutt with a finish, second round finish. Also, we have Kelvin Gastelum versus Johnny Hendricks. Vegas has this just about even. They have Johnny Hendricks with a slight underdog. Hendricks missed weight by 1/4 of a pound, so he weighed in at 171 1/4. So he's going to forfeit 20% of his purse to Kelvin Gastelum, who Kelvin Gastelum has missed weight in the past. I'm going to go with Kelvin Gastelum over Johnny Hendricks, who looks spent trying to make that weight cut. We have Rafael Asunciao against TJ Dillashaw. This is going to rematch, which was a really close first fight before TJ was a champion. It was a split decision that went Rafael's way. I think TJ Dillashaw, his fight with Dominic Cruz was not even just close, but I thought TJ actually won that fight against Cruz. I think TJ is going to come out fired up. I think he's going to be able to take out Asunciao and get right back into that contender spot against Dominic Cruz. Last on the undercard, we have Kat Zingano against Juliana Pena. We interviewed Pena, who just seemed ready and prepared for this fight. It was just business as usual. There was no added pressure, she said, even with the big crowd or the fans. Kat Zingano is the favorite. Kat hasn't fought since in a year and a half. Her last fight was against Ronda Rousey in January of 2015. So it's been a while. Is there going to be cage rest? She had blown up to 175, which she posted on her Instagram before making that cut back down to 135. I think Kat's going to get it done. The only person that Kat's lost to is Ronda Rousey. She's TKO'd Miesha Tate and Amanda Nunes, which a lot of people don't know. So Kat has wins against both of the main eventers at UFC 200. How about that as a fact? On the main card, Travis Brown and Cain Velasquez. This is Cain is a 3-1 favorite in this fight. Travis Brown says that this is his title fight, and if he wins this fight, he wants the title match after Stipe Miocic and Alistair Overeem. There's some question marks. Can Travis get it done? He has good fights and bad fights, hot and cold. Cain's coming off an injury. He wasn't able to take on Verdum. He missed his title shot, and now he's getting Travis Brown. What's going to happen? I think Cain Velasquez is able to stop Travis Brown within 2. Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo. Again, this is one of those fights where It's almost even. Frankie Edgar is the slight the slight favorite against Jose. Although Frankie feels like Jose was better than him when they fought a few years back, and that at this point in time he's gotten better, and Jose was at his prime when he fought him. I went on Yahoo Sports and I actually picked Jose Aldo to win this fight. Um, but I think Frankie Edgar, I'm changing my decision on fight night. I'm going with Frankie Edgar to win and get that shot against Conor McGregor should he come back down to featherweight division, which Conor says he will. Also, Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt. That's going to, well, I'm sorry, Anderson Silva, Daniel Cormier is next up on the main card. Silva filling in for um, John Jones. He's a huge underdog, almost 3.5 to 1. Daniel Cormier is almost a 4.5 to 1 favorite against Anderson Silva. I spoke with Ed Soares last night, and he said, "Don't be surprised if Silva wins, even with coming off gallbladder, having his gallbladder removed and no training camp." And Soares says, "Look for Silva to win in the first round." That was a feeling from that camp. So, but my pick is Daniel Cormier. I don't even Anderson Silva in his prime, a prime Anderson Silva. I don't think he would beat Daniel Cormier even in that environment. I think Daniel Cormier is too big, too skilled, too strong. His wrestling is he's an Olympic caliber wrestler. Anderson Silva's Achilles heel has been his wrestling, and DC has a good chin. No one's been able to put him out. He's been knocked down, but he's never really been hurt in a fight. I think DC finishes the fight within 2 rounds. On the co-main event, which became the main event, was Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt is the favorite against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar looked huge at the weigh-ins. I mean, he took off his shirt, he flexed his pecs for the crowd, and put on a little show for them. But Mark Hunt says, I'll play punch face with anybody. Brock has to take this to the ground, but Mark Hunt, his takedown defense and his ground game has been getting a lot better. I'm taking Mark Hunt to win this via knockout, walk-off first round. I don't see how, Brock is able to withstand that power there. You can't simulate that power. He was stopped by Alistair Overeem, who has a lot of power as well. But Mark Hunt, I think he has the most power in MMA history, even at 41. Right now, in the main event, Amanda Nunes versus Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate's almost a 3-to-1 favorite against Amanda Nunes. Amanda's been, again, she's on a string of a couple wins, but she's also lost as well. So here's a numbers thing for you. The main event of UFC 200, combined number of losses between the two of them, 9 losses. If this was a heavyweight title or any championship title for a huge boxing match, both guys would have zeros or maybe a 1-on-1 or of their records. But this is MMA. It is Miesha Tate. It is Amanda Nunes. I think without Ronda, this fight with Miesha Tate would have been a lot bigger. But I'm going with Miesha Tate to finish Amanda Nunes within 2 rounds. So that's going to round up the card for UFC 200. We'll see how it pans out, but make sure you stay here. We're going to have more analysis after the fights from T-Mobile Arena right here on MMA Now TV.